Okay, what I'm about to do right here is solder two different problems on this board here. One is this coupling here is loose. So I'm going to probably have to just resolder this and make sure that those connections are secure. The second would be here. This power port, it wiggles. And that also causes the power plug that gets in there loses connection, therefore not charging the battery or providing power to the board. So we're going to try to resolder both points. That's it. Okay, the first part that we're going to work on is this power coupling. It's a little loose. I'm not exactly sure if that's the actual problem, but we're going to address that one first. We're not going to really need to actually remove any solder. We're just going to like soften it up and apply some more. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more secure. I'm just melting the solder on it just to make sure we got a good connection. Try to apply the solder now. We're going to heat it up, apply it, push up a little, and apply. Push up a little, and apply some more. Be careful with the solder, it's hot. And last connection, be careful with that tip. And that part's done. Next portion we're going to try to reapply is going to be this power port. It's a little loose. So for this, we're going to pull back this little tape here. And you're going to see the 3 contact points where it was soldered in. I'm not replacing the whole port because it's not damaged, it's just loose. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove some of the solder, push it back into place, and then apply fresh solder and see if we can establish a new connection. So, you use this soldering iron to apply the heat and the solder sucker, for lack of a better name, what we use to create a vacuum to pull up the melted solder. It doesn't look like much is being removed, but it is. And we're going to just keep doing this to all of them. Once I can get the most amount of this liquefied metal out, I am going to apply a fresh connection. And I'm going to find something to apply some pressure underneath so that way I don't burn myself. And at this point, we're going to start applying solder. I put this underneath in order so that way I can apply some downward pressure and push in as I'm heating this up. You may or may not be able to see clearly here, but you'll see the solder might be liquefying, and I'm just going to add more. And now I'm going to do the same here as I apply downward pressure. Don't be stingy with the solder. Get as much as you can in there. So it gets that nice shiny silver when it's liquefied. That should be it. Last step is just to apply the connections to see if we have an electrical charge going through. Here we're about to apply the connection and see if it works. You can see the green LED. As I unplug it, it dies down. I plug it back in, it lights up. Okay, now that we established that the power connection works and that there's power going through the board, I'm just going to turn off the board for a second, and I'm going to apply the connection here to the battery. Okay, we currently have the power connection to plug in to supply power working. Now, this coupling, we're going to actually connect it to the battery and see if we can have a charge going in. We'll turn it on, we'll turn it back off, we'll unplug the power, and we see if there's anything coming from the battery back to the board. And we're just going to plug this back in. And we are going to plug in some power, and I'm going to turn on the board. The board's now on, as you can see there. I know there's no labeling, but you can see that the LED is on. Now, if we go back to that power coupling, if we unplug it and we're still connected to the battery, and we still have a charge. So this has been a successful resoldering and reconnection.